So let me describe my first call, my call to become a mother. And so part of what this is my perspective, my worldview, part of what I see in the world is a lack of loved people. People who walk the world wounded, and they take it out on other people in very unattractive ways. I see smart, really smart and bright people who don't have the skills to add value to the common good. I see people who want to belong to something bigger, but they don't have the opportunities or the circumstances to reach their full potential. And when I see people, I'm talking about adults. I'm not talking about kids, I'm talking about adults, the walking wounded. And then I think, gosh, why is this adult such a jerk? And why are these adults not able to solve problems? And why is this adult so needy? And I also think it's really hard to change adults. So I do not view it as my personal mission to change people I did not give birth to. So it's not part of my mission. I don't feel called to do that. Another way to think about it is the Spirit does not allow me. So I have this belief that you have to do it right the first time, out the gates. And you have to give this human infant lots of love and attention and focus and praise and a variety of experiences. And if you do, maybe, okay, it's no guarantee, like if you do this, 18 years later, you'll have a young adult who will be confident and self-assured and resilient and able to walk the world and be loving. I don't know if this is true, because this is a theory I have, but I feel called to give it my best shot. Simply put, the world does not need more jerks, and I don't intend to raise one. Right? So the question is, am I qualified and prepared for this call? And I was pretty confident I could pull this off, and largely because of my experiences at Cameron House. For all these years, when I describe Cameron House to people or strangers, like come to the church and like, oh, what's this Cameron House connection thing? I've always described it as a sort of leadership training institute that in partnership with the church, Cameron House has produced and inspired activists, seminarians, directors of nonprofits, government servants, business leaders with a heart, citizen leaders who give a hoot and have the skills to make the world better. While correlation doesn't equal causation, there seems to be a connection between the abilities to make pigs in a blanket and getting affordable housing and underground subway lines and after-school programming for Chinatown youth. Through the annual Miracle Ventures, BYP, the club program, Carnival, and all the little events in between, Cameron House is a great institution that nurtures young leaders who grow into old leaders who don't stop giving, ever. We just can't help it. If there's a Spam Musubi to roll, a Carnival concession to build, a DJ booth to MC, we will roll it, build it, and grab that microphone till our dying day. But when I started thinking about Mother's Day, I had this aha moment. Cameron House doesn't say this on their website or in any of their literature. But I discovered what this institution is really about. Cameron House is one giant mommy and daddy boot camp. All those skills I learned, like building a house in the woods, cooking over fire, and making art with yarn and twigs, I thought that was prep work for me to be in a reality TV show, like Survivor. But in actuality, it was prep work for me to be a survivor in the reality called parenthood. So let me rewind to when Kyle was first born. So that's over 12 years ago. There's a great Chinese tradition that after you give birth, the new mother is supposed to stay home for a whole month, and it's sort of like house arrest, can't leave the house. I think of it, and so I want to thank Dayton for being there for my house arrest and drop off some G-Girl. It has to do with healing and resting and regaining one's strength after delivering a baby. So my grandmother, who's 98 now, some of you met my grandmother last week at Carnival, she's 98 now, and she was 86 then. when Kyle was born. And she moved in with me and took care of me for an entire month. She cooked breakfast and lunch and dinner for 30 days, and it was the most loving, nurturing act I have ever received. And I thank her for that. However, when the month came to an end, my grandmother returned to Los Angeles, and I cried. The honeymoon was over, and motherhood truly began. So here's lesson number 1. You know more than you think. When Grandma left, I was grasping for straws, and Kyle would cry, and I didn't know why. Was it the diaper? Was he hungry? Did he need to burp? So I said, quick, I need a lullaby. And I'm going through my brain, lullaby, lullaby, lullaby. This is where Cameron House comes in. And there I was holding, I had one of those gliders, I don't know if they're in now, but those glider type rocking chair type things. I was holding him and rocking him and singing Matthew 11. Come unto me, all who are weak, weary and heavy laden. Gentle am I, humble in heart, and you shall find rest for your soul. It was the perfect song. I would sing it again and again and again until he stopped and fell asleep. Unfortunately, kids wake up, and you gotta keep them entertained for hours on end. And there's a time where it's like preschool doesn't begin yet, and so you're gonna have to come up with this curriculum. And you're on your own, and no one's there to help you. And you gotta come up with your own, how many hours? It's like 18-day curriculum, 18-hour curriculum. And you know you're not supposed to park them in front of the video to watch Blue's Clues or Sesame Street videos all day. And so I would take Kyle out to Stowe Lake and Strawberry Hill and Log Cabin and Baker Beach and Fort Funston. I'm surprised I didn't create my own little day camp scarf for him. And I sang songs like Little Red Caboose. Little Red Caboose.